What's going on? You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary, and please forgive my absence over the last few days. As we all know, income taxes suck a lot, especially when you choose to procrastinate on them. But thankfully, that is all behind us now, and we can move forward and talk about Kurt Vile and his new record, Watch My Moves. That was released on April 15th. This is his 9th studio album and his follow-up to 2018's Bottle It In. I just cannot stop laughing about that album cover. He's such a goofy guy sometimes, but one of the many things I love about the man, he's got this subtle quirkiness and his artistic sensibility amongst many other things. And I am just blown away that he's on record 9 right now. I'm sorry for setting you all up for a nostalgia trip, but it feels just like yesterday that the War on Drugs dropped their first record. Kurt also put out his first solo record that same year, and ultimately going solo feels like the right move for him. In hindsight, we now have a number of albums from the War on Drugs and a number of records from Kurt to see that while there wasn't a complete difference in the artistic direction that they wanted to go in, there definitely were enough subtle differences. It feels like the War on Drugs is more of an alternative rock outfit these days versus Kurt, who's very much inspired by Americana and folk. I like the way he describes the feel of this new record as well. He talks about American folk version of shoegaze, and I think that captures the essence of this record brilliantly. I think the most important thing for Kurt, no matter what though, is artistic autonomy. And he talks about that, the creation of his new home studio, working on this project in that studio, and how he hasn't felt this much artistic freedom since recording in his bedroom very early on in his career. That, and you add into the fact that this is his first record with major label Verb, very cool history there, and I just love all the Velvet Underground covers that he's worked with. And seeking inspiration from Lou Reed on this record, you can definitely feel that as well, but I like the feel of Neil Young, John Prine, Pavement, all sorts of different stuff driving this really just wonderful mellow vibe on this record. And while I really enjoyed the music on this thing a lot, I will say that my one big criticism is that towards the end, it tends to meander. This is, I want to call it a full-on double record. I don't know if anybody's actually labeled that, but it's got a pretty big track list at 15 songs. It's got a runtime of about 73 minutes. And so it feels like a double record. But for a double record, man, the first one is so solid. But the second one, I would argue, meanders a little bit and is not quite as focused. And I think overall becomes detrimental to this effort, which really bums me out to say. I don't want to say it because, like I said, the first record of this thing, the A and the B side, are remarkable. This thing kicks off with Going on a Plane Today. I love this album opener. It's jaunty. It's got this jovial piano. Vocal reminds me a little bit of Adam Green. Again, there's that recitative style that he's working with on a lot of these tracks. Think of Lou Reed, but if you're familiar with a guy, Adam Green, and that's where a little bit of that quirkiness comes in. That's what made me think of him, but his delivery there reminds me of him. His song has these mellow horns that work in and out of it, especially in the bridge and the coda. But I like the way that this thing kicks off the album. Flying Like a Fast Train is your second song. This is a great track, and it's definitely, it runs in contrast to the title. Very mellow, very chill. This thing just drifts like a lazy river, but I like the minimal Afro-Caribbean percussion on this track. It's got this alternative country feel that's really nice with the percussion. I like the way those two elements come together. Your third track, Palace of OKV in reverse. It's got this mid-tempo drum beat, wavy synth with recitative lyrics. You start to get a bit of that Lou Reed influence there on that track. Like Exploding Stones is your fourth song. I love this track. Comes at the right moment too. It lifts the energy at the right moment. It's got the 70s rock feel. I dig the all the moving instrumentation in and out of this thing, and it's just got a good groove. It just settles into a really nice groove. Mount Airy Hill, Way Gone is your fifth track. Mellow alternative country. This is where you start to get a little bit of that Neil Young, Lou Reed in the vocal style for sure on that particular track. Hey Like a Child is your sixth song. Rides a gentle electric riff. Really like this song a lot too. It's got this soft rock feel built on a solid groove as well. Jesus on a Wire is your seventh track. It's got this mellow Beck feel circa Sea Change, you know, minus like the super sadness, but mixing it up. This particular song, I love Kurt and his songwriting, and you know, especially when it comes to the lyrical style that he approaches, and this song just has a great narrative that is worth reading along to while you're checking out that song. For Show is your eighth song. Electro rock groove, a bit of funk with excellent guitars. And this is where my reconstruction of this album would come in. I think that given the mellow feel of this record, that if you had just taken the song Say the Word, which is your 12th track, and back that up behind For Show, you would have had 9 songs with roughly a runtime of about like 44 minutes. And this thing with the feel would have arguably just been perfect in my opinion. But instead you get this second record. It kicks off with Cool Water, which is a nice song. It's got this gentle island feel, lovely steel guitar, blends with that country element seamlessly. We were talking about that the other day on the channel. Chazzy Don't Mind, your 10th track. It's very mellow. I really like the strings that give this acoustic instrumentation. There's like this mellow fiddle, excuse me. So the acoustic riff has this folk feel for sure because of the song. But this, by this point in the record, honestly, I feel like you've just listened to so much mellow music that a song like this kind of just gets lost. And it's unfortunate because it is good, but I would argue that it's one of the weaker moments on the album. It leads into Shiny Things, your 11th track, which is basically just this kind of instrumental bridge, which goes into Say the Word, which I love. Say the Word is easily the highlight of this second disc. Leads into Wages of Sin, which is it's a cool Bruce Springsteen cover. That is a Born in the USA outtake, so I like his take on that particular song. But then you get Kurt Runner, which is basically this like 3-minute instrumental track where he's kind of screwing around, and then Stuffed Leopard is your last song. And again, it kind of falls into the category of Chazzy Don't Mind. It's a great song, but after 14 other songs, I had to stop. I listened to this record twice. I had to pause it twice just to take a break. And by that second record, it had lost me. And with the price point on this album, I haven't been able to find this anywhere for cheaper than $36. You can get it directly off Kurt's website, but you're paying at least $5-6 for shipping and handling. And so I don't mind paying for a full double record if I feel like I'm getting 2 full records on this thing. But I don't feel like I am. The album A is amazing, but album B I feel lacks in a way that for this whole package, I'm not feeling it. I got to turn it down. I got a vinyl pass on this thing. But I would say listen to this record and definitely check out the first 8 songs. The A side and the B side of this record are marvelous to listen to. And I think that Kurt, with all this freedom that he has, maybe could have benefited from someone coming in and just providing a little focus on this project, trimming some of the fat, and putting out an album that was just more focused. But again, that's just my opinion. And I will say that there's a lot of really damn good music on this record, which is why I'm so bummed to pass on it. But I hope you enjoy listening to this project. I hope you find this review helpful as well. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help me blow this project up in 2022, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. We will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.